Greetings, mortals. Tonight, we journey into the heart of obscured truths and silenced tales. Between the shifting sands of Mexico's forbidden zone of silence and the shadowed corridors of the CIA's most illicit operations, lies a realm where reality blurs and secrets fester.
In the northern reaches of Mexico, cradled within the arid expanse of the Mapimi Biosphere Reserve, lies a region steeped in enigma and lore. This is the Zone of Silence, La Zona del Silencio, a place where the ordinary rules of nature seem to unravel. Origins of the enigma. The zone's notoriety can be traced back to a fateful day in July 1970. A U.S. Athena RTV test rocket, launched from the Green River Launch Complex in Utah and destined for the White Sands Missile Range in New Mexico, inexplicably veered hundreds of miles off course. Its trajectory ended abruptly in the heart of the Mexican desert, within what would soon be known as the Zone of Silence. This errant missile was not merely a stray. It carried 2 small containers of radioactive cobalt-57, amplifying concerns and drawing immediate attention to the area. The U.S. Air Force swiftly initiated a recovery operation, dispatching personnel to the remote crash site. As they combed the desert for remnants of the fallen rocket, whispers began to circulate. Local residents, hired to assist in the cleanup, spoke of peculiar occurrences and anomalies that had long plagued the region. It was during this period that the Zone of Silence began to cement its reputation as a place where the fabric of reality seemed to fray. Phenomena and anomalies. The moniker Zone of Silence stems from reports of disrupted radio communications within the area. Travelers and researchers have recounted instances where radios emit nothing but static, compasses spin aimlessly, and electronic devices malfunction without warning. These disruptions have been attributed to alleged magnetic anomalies, though definitive scientific explanations remain elusive. Beyond electromagnetic disturbances, the zone has become synonymous with a host of otherworldly phenomena. Meteorite activity. The region has an unusually high incidence of meteorite impacts. Notably, the Allende meteorite, one of the largest carbonaceous chondrite meteorites ever recorded, fell near the zone in 1969, further fueling speculations about the area's cosmic significance. Unidentified flying objects, UFOs. Numerous accounts detail sightings of luminous objects darting across the sky, executing maneuvers defying conventional aircraft capabilities. Witnesses describe these objects as glowing orbs that hover silently before vanishing at unimaginable speeds. Encounters with beings. Perhaps the most unsettling tales are those of encounters with tall, fair-skinned humanoid figures. Locals recount instances where these beings, clad in attire unlike any known civilization, approach travelers, communicate in flawless Spanish, and vanish without a trace, leaving behind no footprints in the desert sand. Theories and speculations. The enigmatic nature of the zone has given rise to a myriad of theories attempting to decipher its mysteries. Magnetic and gravitational anomalies. Some researchers propose that the zone sits atop a unique convergence of magnetic fields, leading to the observed disruptions in communication equipment and navigation tools. However, comprehensive studies have yet to substantiate these claims conclusively. Extraterrestrial influence. The frequency of UFO sightings and alleged encounters with otherworldly beings have led enthusiasts to speculate that the zone serves as a portal or beacon for extraterrestrial visitors. While tantalizing, these assertions lack empirical evidence. Government experiments. The zone's history with the U.S. military's missile mishap has fueled suspicions of covert operations and experiments conducted away from prying eyes. Some posit that the area was, or perhaps still is, a testing ground for advanced technologies or psychological operations. Eyewitness accounts and local legends. The tapestry of the zone's mystique is richly woven with first-hand accounts and folklore passed through generations. One local rancher recounted a harrowing experience of losing his way within the zone, only to be guided back by 3 tall figures who appeared seemingly out of nowhere. They spoke reassuringly, their Spanish impeccable, and led him to safety before disappearing into the desert, leaving no footprints behind. Another tale speaks of a group of scientists who ventured into the zone to study its anomalies. Despite their sophisticated equipment, they found themselves disoriented, their instruments malfunctioning, and an overwhelming sense of being watched pervading their expedition. While these accounts are anecdotal, they contribute to the enduring allure and mystery of the Zone of Silence. As strange as the Zone of Silence may seem, anomalies, aliens, vanished time, some of the darkest horrors didn't happen in the desert. They happened in hotel rooms, in bedrooms, in your neighborhood, under lock and key, funded by the US government. It was called Operation Midnight Climax, a side project of MK-Ultra, the CIA's infamous mind control initiative. And it wasn't just about experimenting with LSD. It was about power, about breaking minds, about making puppets out of people who had no idea they were part of a game. Origins in madness. The Cold War was a paranoid era. The US feared Soviet mind control, Chinese brainwashing, and psychological manipulation. The CIA wanted to fight back, not just defensively, but offensively. They wanted to own the human mind. MK-Ultra officially launched in 1953. The mission? Explore how drugs, hypnosis, sensory deprivation, and even torture could influence or control behavior. The program involved doctors, hospitals, prisons, and secret labs funded through front organizations. But Operation Midnight Climax was different. It wasn't about controlled labs. It was about the real world. CIA agents, led by chemist George Hunter White, set up a series of safehouses in San Francisco and New York. From the outside, they looked like ordinary apartments. Inside, they were rigged with two-way mirrors, recording equipment, and hidden cameras. The CIA hired sex workers to lure men into these rooms. Once inside, the men were dosed with LSD without their knowledge. Some were also given barbiturates, amphetamines, and experimental combinations of drugs. Then agents would watch, observe, film, and take notes as their test subjects spiraled into confusion, panic, hallucination, and psychological collapse. They didn't intervene. They didn't help. They just watched. True horror stories. Some subjects were left locked in the rooms for hours. Others stumbled out, mentally shattered, never knowing what happened. And still, the experiment continued, over years. George Hunter White once wrote, "I was a very minor missionary, actually a heretic, but I toiled wholeheartedly in the vineyards because it was fun, fun, fun." That's the kind of man who ran the program. Frank Olson was one of the casualties, though his story stands apart. Olson was a government scientist involved in biological warfare. In 1953, he was secretly dosed with LSD by CIA colleagues. Days later, he fell from a hotel window in Manhattan. The official story was suicide. His family believed otherwise. Years later, an autopsy revealed signs of blunt force trauma to the head before the fall. The case was reopened. Files were released, but no one was held accountable. Olson was simply another ghost swallowed by a program designed to erase. The cover-up. Operation Midnight Climax ran from 1955 to 1966, hidden behind classified budgets and government lies. When the truth began leaking in the 1970s, thanks to journalists, whistleblowers, and the church committee, the public was stunned. Even then, most documents were destroyed. The paper trail was burned. What remains is a heavily redacted record of systemic abuse. Ordinary citizens turned into lab rats, their minds broken for research that led nowhere but darkness. We had no idea. I just thought it was a date. I didn't know they were watching. These weren't soldiers. These weren't volunteers. These were you, your neighbor, your friend, your father on a business trip, the man who never came home quite the same. This was government-sponsored psychological warfare on American soil. The Zone of Silence, Operation Midnight Climax. Two places, thousands of miles apart. One bathed in sand, the other in shadow, but the silence is the same. In both stories, we see remote locations used as veils for dangerous experiments. Whether it's in the dead air of the desert or behind a mirror in a cheap motel room, the goal was always the same: control. Control of what we see, what we hear, what we remember, what we believe. Whether in the dunes of the unknown or the dim light of a mirrored room, the experiment always ends the same.
Whether in the dunes of the unknown or the dim light of a mirrored room, the experiment always ends the same. We are the rats, we are the ghosts, and those who orchestrate the silence are still watching. Until next time, mortals, stay out of the shadows